All right, so this is the SAT practice test number 10 by the College Board, the very final one they have there on their website. So let's go ahead and get started. Section 3, here we go. Number 1, what value of z? So just subtract 2z on both sides, and you get 1's equal to negative z, so z is equal to negative 1. B. Number 2, a television with a price of $300, you pay initial payment of $60 and weekly payments of $30. So you start with the $60 and you keep paying $30, another $30, another $30 every week until you get something equal to $300, and that basically is C, where you start with $60 of initial payment and you keep paying $30 every week. All right, number 3. So we have this little table. Basically, you're just looking for the equation. If you look at the numbers in the table, they don't really look very nice. I'm just going to call that 17, call that 22. And that's enough because, honestly, I only need 2 points. So let's figure out the slope. 17 to 22, the rise is plus 5. 5 to 10, the run is also plus 5. So 5 over 5, the slope must be 1. So if you look at the answer choices, C and D are out because they got the slope of over 3. It's got to be 1, so probably one of these two. Now, the y-intercept, you can go ahead and plug it in if you would like. But if you've been watching my other videos, you know how I do things. I fucking hate long work that I need to do. So in order to find the y-intercept, basically I'm just going to go back to where x is 0. So the weight is 0 in this case. And since we know the slope better be 5, you're just going to go backwards, which means minus 5. So call that 17 once again. That's going to be 12. So something about 12, and that's B. All right, number 4. The line, blah, 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 blah. So how much greater? 5 feet versus 2 feet. So here we go. 5 feet will be right there. That is a 35. And 2 feet will be right there. That's 14. Between 35 and 14, the difference is 21. Next, number 5. X is greater than 0. Which of the following? Yeah, that's the square root of 9 and square root of x squared, which is 3x. A. Next, number 6. What are all values of x that satisfy the equation? Yeah, I'm too lazy to multiply both sides by x minus 1 and fucking quadratic, move it over to one side. I don't want to do that shit. I'm going to plug it in. So, here we go, starting from the bottom. I will try negative 3 to see if that's going to work. And if you do that, the top would be 9 minus 1 over the bottom would be negative 4, and that's equal to negative 2. So 8 divided by negative 4, that is equal to negative 2 indeed. So negative 3 should work. So 8 could also potentially work, but you can get rid of B and C. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try negative 1 to see if that's going to work. So negative 1 and negative 1. So that'll be, top will be 1 minus 1 over bottom will be negative 2, and the hell is not negative 2 because the top will be 0. So not that one, only negative 3. Number 7, the graph, whatever, f of 0, aka the x is 0, aka the y-intercept, right there, 4. Next, number 8, figure above, what is the value of 3x? So I want you to notice that x, 2x, 2x, total of 5x, they should equal 90 because that is a 90 degree right there. So divide by 5s on both sides and you get x is equal to 18. Now that's not your answer because you want 3x, so 3 times 18, that's going to give you 54, answer choice C. Next, number 9, which of the following is an equation? Okay, so basically this equation is going to be, well, y is equal to negative x minus 4, and you just move it over to one side and have it in, standard form or whatever. If you're too lazy to do that, do one of my tactics, which is I'm just going to plug in 0, negative 4 to see which one's going to work for. So 0, 0, 0, 0, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4. Look at D, 0 plus negative 4, that's not 4. C, 0 plus negative 4, that is negative 4. B, 0 minus negative 4, that is 4. A, 0 minus negative 4 is not negative 4. So, which one? Well, try the other one. How about, well, I'm going to do that in green this time. So that'll be negative 4 and 0. So let's try plugging that in between choices B and C and see which one it works for. So, same thing, negative 4 for the 0 and then negative 4 for the x and 0 for the y. So C gives you negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. That works. But B says negative 4 minus 0 is 4. That's not 4. That's negative 4. So B is now wrong. It's going to be C. If you didn't want to, get the linear equation yourself and move it over to one side and have it in standard form, if you didn't want to do that, you can just plug in those points, especially the x-intercept and y-intercept, because they're much easier to plug in. Number 10, the graph that's whatever, crosses the y-axis, aka that's called the y-intercept. So what is the value of k? Where x is 0. So that is happening right there. If you think about it, x is 0. So you can go back to this equation and just plug in x is equal to 0. And when you do that, that's just going to simply cancel those two, so it's just going to be a 12. Number 11, a circle in the xy plane got a center 5, 7, and radius 2. So x minus a squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h and k is the center, so that'll be x minus 5 squared plus y minus 7 squared, and that's 2 squared, so the right side should be 4, and it should be a minus, which is answer choice A. Number 12, figure above, ABC is similar. What is the value of cosine E? Angle E is basically the same thing as angle B because they're similar triangles. So if you want the cosine of angle E, that'll be adjacent over hypotenuse. Same thing over here, adjacent over hypotenuse. 12 over 13 it is. Next, number 13, xy plane. It's got 2x intercepts. Yeah, it's going to have 2x intercepts. What is the distance between the two? If you factor that shit, that'll be x plus 4 and x plus 1. So x is equal to negative 1, x is equal to negative 4. There is a difference of 3, so the distance between the two should be 3. Number 14, what are all values of x that satisfy the given equation? I'm too lazy to fucking square both sides and move it over once, so set it equals 0 to the whole quadratic. I'm too lazy to do that. I'm just going to plug it in. So, starting with 1. If you plug in 1, that's going to give you a square root of 4 is equal to negative 2, and that's hell not true. So 1's out. And if you plug in a 9, then that will give you square root of 36 is equal to 9 minus 3, which is 6, and that is absolutely true. So only 2 only, answer choice B. Number 15, systems of equations, whatever. Which of the following values of A does the system have no solution? I basically want no solution, aka same x's, same y's, something different that it is equal to, right? If you've been watching my other videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to grab the top one and multiply by 2. Then I will get negative 6x plus 2y is equal to 12. And then if I just carry down the bottom one as is, ax plus 2y is equal to 4. Yep, basically equaling something different. I like that. So same y's. Now I just want the same x's. So I wish the negative 6x was the ax. So if you just look at it, you want the a to be negative 6. So there it is. All right, moving on to free response. Number 16. Manufacturer, whatever, this is way too goddamn long. So blah, blah, blah. Total is the T. And then C units to closer location. F units to the farther location. Okay, I get it. C for the close, F for the far. If the total shipping cost was $47,000, so that'd be $47,000 for the T. And then 3,000 units were shipped to the farther location. See, F should be 3,000. So how many C's? Okay, so that'll be 47,000 is equal to 5C plus 36,000, I'm sorry. Subtract 36,000 on both sides, and that'll be 11,000, and that's equal to 5C. So go ahead and divide by 5s on both sides, and there you have it. C is equal to 2,200. Number 17, A and B is a solution. What is the value of A minus B? So you can go ahead and say that 2x plus 1 inside the absolute value could be negative 5 because it'll still come out to be positive 5 if you take the absolute value of it. And that'll be 2x plus 1 is equal to positive 5. So, you know, positive turning into positive. So if you just subtract 1 on both sides, then you get 2x is equal to negative 6. So x is equal to negative 341. And then subtract 1 on both sides. 2x is equal to 4. So x is equal to 2 is another one. So just go ahead and say whichever one is fucking whatever. So I'm just going to call A negative 3 and then B 2. So that'll be absolute value of negative 3 minus 2, which is negative 5. And that's just equal to 5. All right, so yeah, that'll be 5. And then number 18, one purchase an antique that had a value of $200. And then each year the value is estimated to increase 10%. So multiply 1.1, another 1.1, another 1.1, and so forth, right? So the estimated value of the antique in dollars 2 years after the purchase. Stop it. So first year, second year, let's get rid of this shit. And then apparently that can be represented by the expression 200A. So set this thing equal to 200A. So what's A? Okay, cancel the 200s on both sides. A is basically 1.1 times 1.1. I want you to know that 11 times 11 is 121. So 1.1 times 1.1 should basically just be 121 with 2 decimals to the left. So 1.21 it is. Number 19, joke ass question. They want 5x plus 5y. If you just add that shit, you literally get 5x plus 5y, and that's equal to 2,500. So you're fucking done. Number 20, u plus 5 is t, u minus t is 2. What is the value of that shit? So first of all, u minus t, they gave it to you, it's a 2. And then I want you to notice this u squared minus t squared. You get that shit when you FOIL this u plus t and u minus t. That's basically what u squared minus t squared is. So u plus t is a 5. U minus t is a 2, so that should be a 10, right? So you're just going to be a 10, and that's just 20. And that wraps up the entire section 3. Now, I'm going to move on to section 4. Here we go. Number 1, helicopter initially hovering 40 feet above the ground begins to gain altitude at a rate of 21. So you start with the 40, add 21, add 21, add 21, on and on and on and on, and that shit looks like B. Number 2, a text message plan charges a flat fee of $5 for monthly for up to 100 text messages sent, plus 25 cents for each additional text message sent that month, right? So, yeah, you're going to go kind of flat, and then after that, well, the more you send, the more you have to pay. So something like this, and that matches answer choice A. All right, number 3, Jake buys a bag of popcorns. Cool story, bro. He eats half of the popcorn during the 15 minutes of the previews. After eating half of the popcorn, he stops for the next 30 minutes, and then he gradually eats the popcorn until he fucking spills all of that shit. So what looks like this? If you look at all the answer choices, they have amount of popcorn on the y-axis. So let's kind of imagine it based on what we just read. So he eats half of the popcorn. So, I don't know, shit, man. I mean, if you start right here, well, he's going to come down to like about halfway, right? So we're about here. And then what does he do? He stops for freaking 30 minutes. So, yeah, I guess he's paying attention to some scenes in the movie or something. So he's stopping for like 30 minutes. And then he gradually eats again. So kind of just going down again. And then he fucking spills it. Like, oh, whoops. Yeah, so it's got to be something like this. And that basically matches answer choice B. Nothing else looks like this. Number 4, 20 minus x is 15. What is the value of 3x? So subtract 20 on both sides. Then negative x is equal to negative 5. So x is equal to 5. Don't fucking put a, because 3x they're looking for, 3 times 5 is 15. Number 5, for the function, what is the value of f of negative 1? So just put that negative 1 right there, and that would just simply be 2 over 2, which is 1. Cool. Number 6, which of the following is equivalent to this? Just distribute that shit. 2x cubed minus 6x squared, which is answer choice D. Number 7, a retail company has 50 large stores located in different areas throughout the state. A research company believes job satisfaction varies greatly from store to store. Okay, which of the following sampling method is most appropriate to estimate the proportion of all employees of the company who are satisfied with their job? So what's the best way to survey them, right? D, creating a website on which employees can express their opinions, then using the first 50 responses. That's fucked up, dude. That's bias. You're using the first 50 responses. When you're picking a certain population to run some surveys or interviews or whatever shit like that, if you want to make it fair, you have to pick random sample of populations. That shit is now random. Goodbye. C, surveying the 25 highest paid employees. That's fucked up. Of course they're fucking satisfied. They get paid the highest. B, selecting 10 employees from each store at random. I like that. And then surveying each employee selected. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. That's pretty random, right? You just grab random as employees from each of the store, and then you just do a survey. That sounds pretty fair. A, selecting one of the 50 stores. That's already fucking biased. What about the other stores, right? What about all the other 49 stores? What if they think it's shit when, you know, that one particular store you surveyed, they all say it's pretty good, but what if the other rest of the fucking 49 stores say it's shit? Well, you never surveyed them, so you're not going to have the fair results that we can be reliable on, right? So that's why it's wrong, and it's got to be B. The most random it is, the better it is. Number 8, the crew grabs whatever. After they made their initial deposit, so after the y-intercept, how much more did Ian deposit each week? So we're talking about the difference in slope. So if you look at it, Jeremy's got a slope of, well, every week he's putting $100, and then Ian's got oh no, that was Ian, I'm sorry. So that's for Ian, and then for Jeremy that is $50. So how much more each week? $50. Next, number 9. What is it? Yeah, easy stuff. H of 5, that's just going to be 2 to the 5th. And H of 3, that's just going to be 2 to the 3. 2 to the 5th is 32. Minus 8, 2 to the 3 is 8. And that would be 24. Next, number 10. A researcher surveyed a random sample of students from a large university about how often they see movies. Okay. Using the data, 23% of the students in population saw a movie at least once per month. The margin of error is 4%. So it could have been anywhere from 19% to 27%, right? So, which of the following is the most appropriate conclusion? So, obviously, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of A and B just because they don't have the whole 19 to 27 shit that I need. D, it is plausible, it's possible, that the percentage of students who see a movie at least once per month is anywhere between 19 to 27%. That sounds pretty goddamn reasonable, so I'm going to keep that. C, the researcher is between 19% and 27% sure. Fuck no, man. The whole percentage, the whole 23%, give or take 4% off of that is not fucking how sure the researcher is. It is the number or the percentage of the students who go see that movie at least once a month. It's not about how sure the researcher is, which is why C is absolutely fucking irrelevant, which is why D is your answer. Number 11. The table above shows the two lists of numbers. Which of the following is true about comparing list A and list B? So something about the means and standard deviation, right? So first of all, let's think about the idea of standard deviation. Well, look at all these numbers, right? List A's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody's differing by 1, right? And list B's got 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. If you look at it, the 2, 3, and 3 are already the same with as each other. 4 and 4 are the same as each other. That's already less deviations with C. But you only need to know fucking who's got more or less deviation. The point is, are they the same? Hell no, they're not fucking same, right? So these standard deviations are not the same. So get rid of B and get rid of D. And then the means, well, just add them and divide by however many numbers, right? So for list A, if you just add them all up, well, let's add smarts. 6 and 4, so that'll be 10. 5 and that will be another 10, so that'll be 21 divided by 6 I'm doing here. And then for list B, well, let's add smart again. So if you do that, 6 and 4, that would be 10. And that's a 9, so that'll be 21. And so divided by 6 again. So the means got to be the same. All right, number 12. A book was on sale for 40% off its original price. So the sale price was $18. So whatever the original price was, you got 40% off. So multiply 0.6 on it, and that was $18. So what was the original price? Go ahead and divide by 0.6 on both sides, and that's going to give you $30. How did I do that fast? 18 divided by 0.6. And fuck the decimals. Move one. So that'll be 180 divided by 6, which is 30. Numbers 13 to 14's got to do with this. Bar graphs, too lazy to read. I'm not going to read that shit. Number 13, which of the following colonies showed a decrease in size every 2 weeks after the initial treatment with pesticide? So it showed decrease every fucking 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. So let's go. Colony A. Start right there. Decrease, 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 decrease. Okay, I like that. So that's cool. How about colony B? So I'm going to take this away. Colony B. Start right there. Yep, that's a decrease. Yep, that's a decrease. Yep, that's a decrease. Yep, that's a decrease. That's cool too. So colony B is cool too. How about colony C? Yeah, start right there. They already went up. So that's a no-no. So only A and B, which is answer choice C. 1 and 2 only. Number 14. Which of the following is close to the ratio of the total number of insects in all 3 colonies in week 8 to the total number of insects at the initial? So week 8 to initial is what we're doing, and you want the total number. So let's get it. Week 8, that'll be like 20, and that'll be 10, and that'll be 50. So add them all up, that'll be a total of 80. And then initial, call that 80. Fucking call that 60. Call that 62. So that'll be about 200. If you cancel by the 40s, you get 2 to 5 ratio. Answer choice A. Number 15, a right circular cone. So right circular cone like this. Got a volume of 24 pi cubic inches, but if you look to the front of the packet, it'll literally tell you the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r square h. So if the height of the cone is 2 inches, so the height is 2, what is the radius? Yep, so there you have it. 24 pi is equal to 1/3 pi r square, height is 2. So get rid of pi's on both sides, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 3/2 to cancel the 2 and cancel the 3, so 3/2 here as well, and that'll be 12. So 36 is equal to r squared, so square root both sides. R is equal to plus or minus 6, which radius is just 6. So they want the radius of 6. If they wanted the diameter, well, the answer would be C, 12. Number 16, in 2015, the population of city X and Y were equal. Stop it. So I'll be like 2015, X was equal to Y. Okay. And then from 2010 to 2015, the population of city X increased by 20%. Well, stop it. Wait, hold on. So from 2010 to 2015, if you think about it, if we call 2010 the X because that's what it started with, and it went up by 20%, so that's going to be 1.2x. So I'm going to have to go back to my 2015 data they initially wrote, and I should replace it with 1.2x because in 2015, it's not x, it's 1.2x because shit went up by 20%. So we're going to do the same thing for the Y as well. The population of city Y decreased by 10%. So which means from 2010 to 2015, if we started with Y in 2010, the 2015 should not be a Y. It should be 0.9Y because 10% is gone. So I'm going to replace that shit over here as well, 0.9Y. That is how the equation should look like. So if the population of city X was 120,000 in 2010, stop it. So I'm going to go back and I'll be like, this is 120,000. And then, well, then 1.2 times that will be 144,000 because 12 times 2 is 144. And then that's what I'm going to put it right here. 144,000 is equal to 0.9y. So they're asking city Y in 2010. We're basically looking for the y. Yeah, so there you have it. You just have this equation. So if you just divide by 0.9 on both sides, well, you really don't need a calculator because 144,000 divided by 0.9 should be a slightly more than 144,000, which is answer choice C. You can punch it into your calculator if you want to double check, but fuck that. I mean, close enough. Number 17, the volume of the sphere, whatever. You don't need to read jack shit because look at the answer choices. Basically, you're solving for the r, right? Because that's the only missing variable. Or, you know, it literally says what gives the radius. So, yeah, so here we go. V is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. First of all, multiply both sides by 3/4 to cancel that 4/3. So if you do that, 3/4 v is equal to pi r cubed. Let's go ahead and divide by pi's on both sides. So that you're going to get 3v over 4 pi, and that's equal to r cubed. So go ahead and take a cube root of both sides. And there you have something like this, which is answer choice D. All right, next. Number 18, the table, whatever. Based on the table, which of the following is closer to probability that a tablet user answered always? So that would be 30.9%. Given that the tablet user did not answer never. So we cannot take that never into an account. Get that shit out of the way. We should be looking at the very rest. Well, that's 31.3% out of 100%. So we should only be looking at out of total of 68.7% after taking away the never. Well, what is the chance that it's going to be always? Well, that'll be 30.9%. So if you just punch that shit into your calculator, I probably wouldn't take my chance. I mean, I'll probably just punch it in just because, you know, trying to do that in your head would not be a very smart idea. When you do that, you should get 0.44978166, which is basically close to 0.45. Next, number 19, in the equation above A is constant. The graph is a parabola. Is fucking in the vertex form. Which of the following is true about the parabola? Well, yeah, it's going to be a sad face because of that negative in the very front. And the vertex should be at 3 and A. If you just know your vertex form, this shit is easy. So it's got its maximum because it's a sad face. So get rid of A and B. And it's happening at 3 and A. Answer choice D. Number 20. The maximum value of a data set consisting of 25 positive integers is 84. So that's the biggest gap. A new data set consisting of 26 positive integers created by including a 96. Okay, so new biggest guy, right? In the original data set. Which of the following measures must be 12 greater for the new data set than the original data set? Well, first of all, let's go one at a time, right? Well, the answer is going to be range, but let me just prove all the other ones wrong. Standard deviation, yeah, it's definitely going to change. Why? Because you just put the big ass dude again, right? The biggest dude. There was a biggest dude before, and now you put the biggest dude, the new biggest dude. It's gonna shift the whole fucking standard deviation. Which way, how much, I don't fucking know. But the point is that standard deviation will change. It's probably gonna increase. So that's a no-no. Range? Of course. Well, they gave you the highest number was 84. What was the lowest number? I don't fucking know. But let's just say it was 20, right? Who cares, right? So what was the range before? 64, right? Now, what's the new range? Well, the minimum stays the same because we didn't do jack shit about the minimum, right? All we did is we just added a new number that happens to be the new highest number, the new maximum, which is what? 96. So when you subtract those two, then you get a range of 76. And if you look at it, 64 versus 76, that's exactly 12 greater. And that makes sense because, you know, the range is big minus small, but you just bump up the big by 12. So obviously the fucking range is going to increase by 12, right? So that is what it is. And the median, well, median is just literally the middle guy, right? And in this particular case, I wouldn't fucking be able to tell what the old or new median would be because I don't fucking know the other numbers. I don't know what the other numbers were in the data set, so I wouldn't freaking know. So I have really no idea. And then the mean, of course it's going to change. It's going to go up a little bit because you just added the biggest guy. How much? I don't fucking know. Maybe not exactly 12. So that's how it's going to be C. C is the only choice that you can say for sure that increased exactly by 12 precisely. Number 21, Clayton will mix X mils of 10%, Y mils of 20%, but that's all fucking in here, so why the fuck would I read that? Whatever. So if Clayton used 100 milliliters of the 20% biomass in the solution, so the 20% version is the Y, so I guess the Y is 100. So all you gotta do is just punch that shit in. 0.10 plus 0.20 times 100 is equal to 0.18 times X plus 100. So there you have it. Let's get it. 0.10x plus 20 is equal to, when you distribute, 0.18x plus 18, subtract 18 on both sides, subtract 0.10x on both sides, 0.10x, And then when you do that, then you should get 2 is equal to 0.08x. So go ahead and divide it by 0.08 on both sides. And yeah, you can go ahead and punch that into your calculator. But for me, I'm just like push 2, so that'll be 200 divided by 8. If you cancel by the 4s, then that'll be 50 over 2. And cancel again, that'll be 25. So there it is, 25. Or 200 divided by 8. Well, think about it. 200, just if you just call that $2, well, that'll just be 8 quarters, right? So that's why it's going to be 25. But whatever. I mean, if that didn't kick in, that's totally fine. Number 22, the first year Eleanor organized a fundraising event, she invited 30 people. And then for each of the next 5 years, she invited the double of the number of people she had invited the previous year. So shit's going up exponentially. Decreasing, get the fuck out of A and C. And it's increasing not in a linear fashion, in an exponential function. There you have it. So D it is. All right. Number 23, some values of X and corresponding values. It's a linear relationship, so what's gonna be it? You know what? I'm too lazy to fucking, find the slope and do all that shit. I'll just plug it in, you know what? So I'll just try A and 0. So X is A, Y is 0. So there we go. 0 for all the Y's, and then A for all the X's. So if you do that, what do we get? So D, 2A minus 0 is 7. Hell nah, dude. C, 2A minus 0 is negative. Hell nah, dude. B, A plus 0 is 5. Hell nah, dude. A plus 0 is 8. Hell yeah, that's the only one. That's the only choice that works for it. I'm not going to bother checking the other fucking points. Number 24, scatter plot, whatever. A line, whatever. Which of the following could be the equation? Yeah, so first of all, is that the y-intercept? Oh, hell no, man, because that x is 120. It's not the y-intercept, right? Y-intercept is when x is 0. But it don't matter, because if you look at the answer choices, ain't nobody carrying that fucking y-intercept. So let's just go ahead and find the slope. First of all, it's going up. So why the hell negative slope, right? And then let's just pick 2 points. Just grab that and grab that. Rise is a 10, over run is a 20. So there you have it. 0.5 it is, the slope must be, right? Pay attention to each tick, right? Because the y-axis, every interval goes up by 10, but for the x-axis, every interval goes by 20, right? So watch out for those little ticks. Number 25, the systems, whatever, what is the x-coordinate of the point of intersection, the intersection point? So set them equal, right? Well, it would not be very fun for me to solve one variable or the other, so I'm just going to do systems of equations, multiply the bottom one by 3. Why the fuck would you do that? Because then you get 2.4x minus 1.5 y is equal to 0.3, carry the top one as is, and the bottom one, that'll be 4.8x plus 1.5 y is equal to negative 3.9, and that will simply take away the y's. I don't want the y, I want the x anyway, so when you do that, that'll be 7.2x is equal to 3.6, or negative 3.6, so go ahead and divide by 7.2s on both sides, and that would just simply be x is equal to negative 0.5, answer choice A. Next, number 26. Keith modeled a growth over several hundred. Yeah. Cool story, bro. Cool story. Okay, so he estimated that there were 310 pollen grains per square centimeter the first year. So we start with the 310. And then what happens? With a 1% annual increase. So 1% increase, that just means 101%. So multiply by 1.01, another 1.01, and on and on and on and on. And that basically looks like not A or C for sure. Now, B's wrong because 1.01 is sitting at the exponent. No, that's not what the fuck you're supposed to do. You're supposed to multiply the 1.01 every year for however many T is, which is why D is the right answer. Don't read the rest. Number 27. Based on the equation, what is the value of 3x minus 2? So I'm going to try to solve for 3x minus 2. How so? Well, this is how I did it. Well, 2/3 of the 9x minus 6 minus 4 is equal to, well, technically 1 of the 9x minus 6. Does everybody see what I'm doing? Basically, the way I'm treating it is like this. 2/3 smiley face minus 4 is equal to smiley face. If you kind of see what I'm doing, well, I'm basically calling that 9x minus 6 a smiley face. And that makes my job much easier because what do? You just simply subtract the 2/3 9x minus 6, aka 2/3 smiley face on both sides. And if you look, you get negative 4 is equal to 1/3, 9x minus 6. And you know what? It's not a coincidence. So when you distribute that shit, you get negative 4 is equal to 3x minus 2. And I'm fucking done. Yeah, easy ass question. If you solve for x and like plug it in and shit like that, it's going to take way longer. Number 28, function that, which of the following is the graph? Okay, so first of all, there's no negative in the front, right? So that's why A and B is out. Well, I would have started from the bottom anyway, but yeah, you get the point. So x is equal to negative 3 is one of the zeros. The other zero, I don't fucking know because I don't know what the k is. But negative 3 should be one of the two zeros. So if you look at D, yeah, it's got negative 3. So that's cool. But if you look at C, it's got negative 2. That's not it. D it is. Next. Number 29. The formula above can be used to approximate the height in inches of an adult male based on the length. Okay, so what's the meaning of the 1.88? That's freaking slope. Slope is rise over run, which in this particular case, it's going to be the height over length. So 1.88 over 1, I'll call it. So what does that mean? The height goes up by 1.88 every time the length goes up by 1. Something like that. So here we go. D. The approximate increase. I like the word increase. In a man's height. Okay, I like that. In inches for each inch increase in femur length. I love it. It's the increase in height. The slope is supposed to tell you the increase in height, not the length, because it should be rise over run, aka y over x, which in this particular case is h over l. So I kind of like that. Let me just read all the other ones to prove you they're all wrong. C, the approximate increase in the man's femur length. It's not the increase in length, it's the increase in height. B, the approximate increase in femur. No, not the length, the height. A, the approximate femur. No, not the length, the height. And A is terribly wrong because it's even missing the word increase. It is not the length, if anything, right? It's got to be something about the increase. Number 30, quadrilateral. AD is parallel to BC, so let's just kind of mark that. And then CD is equal to 1/2 of AB. So I'm just going to call this X, and that'll be 2X. What is the measure of angle B? If you didn't see it, you can basically make a right triangle like this, and that would still be X, right? So if you think about it, X, 2X, X red 3, it's a 30, 60, freaking 90. The front of the packet tells you. So there you have it. Over here is 60 degrees. We want the angle B, which is this whole thing. Let me just do that whole thing. But you know this is 60. You know that's a right angle. So 60 and 90 together, that's going to be 150. Moving on, free response. Here we go. Number 31. Lynn has $8 to spend on apples and oranges. Apples cost 65 cents each. Oranges cost 75 cents each. No tax. Yeah, fucking wish no tax. But on this purchase, she buys 5 apples. Stop it. So let's go ahead and find that out. 0.65 times 5, right? So that would be a total of $3.25, right? How did I do that fast? 60 times, well, 0.6 times 5, which is 3. 0.05 times 5, which is 0.25. So now she only has $8. So subtract that 3.25, and she only got 4.75 to work with, right? 4,075 cents to work with. What is the maximum number of whole oranges she can buy? So yeah, so just take that 475 that she's got remaining. Each orange is 0.75 or 75 cents. So you can go ahead and punch it into your calculator if you would like. And when you do that, you should get 6.33333. Even if the answer was 6.9999999, your answer is still fucking 6, because the fact that you have enough money to buy 0.99999 orange. Can you fucking buy that orange? Oh, hell no. That's called stealing, right? You can't fucking buy that. If you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money. What, you're only short by a fucking 1 penny? Well, still, you ain't got enough money to buy that shit. So even if it was 6.99999, you wouldn't round that shit up to a 7. It's got to be still rounded down to a 6. Number 32, figure out Charlton scale. If A is 34, what is the value of B plus C? Well, they got to add up to 180. So just take away the 34, and there you have it, 146. What the fuck is this? Number 33, if the mean of the 5 numbers is 1600, what is the value of X? So for me, I'm too lazy to do all that zero shit, because, I mean, I don't want to punch in my calculator. So I'll just be like, fuck all these zeros. All the 2 zeros, because they all share it anyway. So I'll be like 7 plus 12 plus 16 plus 20 plus x all divided by 5, and that's equal to 16. So if you just add all these shits, well, that'll be 19 and then 36. So together, that would be a 55. So 55 plus x is equal to, if you just multiply 5 on both sides, and that will give you 80 on the right side. So x is equal to 25, and that's fucking it. But that's not 25. I got to put the 2 zeros back, so 2,500 it is. Next, 34. Relationship between x and y is basically this linear equation with the y-intercept of 0, but who the fuck cares? Y is 17 when x is equal to a. So let's just plug it in. So 17 is equal to m times a. Okay, what is the value of y when x is equal to 2a? Huh? So 17, well, no, not 17. Y is equal to m, I don't fucking know, but now x is 2a, so plug in 2a. But what do you know? So y is equal to 2ma, but what do you know? Ma is fucking 17. You already got that. So we can just replace it. 2 times 17, and that gives you 34. Boom. Next, number 35. Equations, A, B, and constants, infinitely many solutions. So you want the left and right side of the equation to be totally identical. So what do you know? A has to be a 4 because distribute, so you get that 4x. And then B would have to be, well, if you distribute this, you should get a 10. So B better be 2.5. All right, number 36. In the xy plane, a line that has the equation that and that intersect at exactly 1 point. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. So negative x squared plus 5x is equal to c. I'm going to move these to the other side because I fucking hate carrying the negative in the very leading coefficient or leading exponent, whatever. So I'll just be like x squared minus 5x minus plus c is equal to 0. Okay, and now I'm about to factor this shit. Well, obviously I can't fucking factor because I don't know what the c is. But technically I could, because what did they say? They said exactly 1 point. So what do you know? You got two factors. Can they be different? Oh, fucking hell no, because that would be considered 2 points of intersection. They only said exactly at 1 point the two graphs intersect. So whatever this factor is, they better be completely identical, the same. So just be like x and x. Looking at the middle term, that's going to be minus and minus. And how do you get that 5? Divide by 2, right? 5 over 2 and 5 over 2. Right? Or you can call it 2.5, 2.5, whatever. So what is the value of c? Well, that c is basically what you get when you FOIL this shit, the very last term together. So in fraction, that'll be 25 over 4. I'll probably recommend you to keep it in fraction. But if you did x minus 2.5 times x minus 2.5, then when you distribute that shit, you are going to get 6.25. So whatever you want, but like I keep saying, fraction is a lot easier for you to keep track of and not make some dumbass mistake. Here we go, 3738. So Peregrine Falcon can reach speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. That's goddamn fast. Okay. Your fastest animal on the planet, apparently it says. It went in the dive. Number 37. What is a Peregrine Falcon's maximum speed while driving in feet per second? So you got 200 miles per hour, and you're simply just turning that into a feet per second. They always give you these conversions to you. So 1 mile's 5280 feet. So let's just go ahead and use that shit. So I'll be like 1 mile is 5280 feet. Mile on the bottom, so the miles will cancel like this. So there you have it. I got the feet. Now I just want the time unit to be per second. So I have hour right now. I'll be like 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then 1 minute is 60 seconds. Oh, Steven, isn't 1 hour basically 3600 seconds? Yeah, I mean, good for you, but I'm just assuming that I didn't even know that shit. So hours cancel, and then minutes cancel. So you can go ahead and just do that in your calculator. I'll probably punch it in my calculator too. So you can at least cancel the 2 zeros, I guess, like this. So it would just be 2 times 5280 divided by 36. And then I basically got 293.33333 repeat. They want it to the whole number, so 293 it is. All right, last one, number 38. If a Peregrine Falcon dove at its maximum speed for half a mile to catch prey, how many seconds was that? So half a mile. And how fast is it going? It's going 200 miles per hour. So there you have it. Well, 200 miles on the bottom, 1 hour on the top, so the miles will cancel. So when you do that shit, then that gives you 1 over 400 hour. Are you fucking done? No. How many seconds, right? You got to convert that into seconds. So here we go. 1 hour, same thing. 1 hour, 60 minutes. And then 1 minute, 60 seconds. And if you just do this, well, minutes cancel, hours cancel. So you can actually do the math quite easy because the zeros would cancel like that, and then the zeros would cancel like that. So basically you got 36 over 4, which is 9, so 9 seconds it is. And that wraps up the whole fucking section 3 and 4 of the very last one that College Board provides you, the SAT practice test number 10.